one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
I can't even think about all of the shit I did to fit in. Past hard to watch like a fucking scary movie. I'm always happy to meet somebody that never knew me. Change for the better, hope niggas are living through me. I put it all on the wax so the people can know the true me. Hard to remain sane when the people you love the most is what's causing the damn pain. Y'all beef by the same thing, we ain't playing the same game. It's all for my fam name. She the girl of your fucking dreams, but to me she a plain Jane. You dipper and ball man, I duck when them calls came. This that higher level thinking. I'm the type to jump the fuck off for the shit before it's sinking. Not here for no new shit, my game slight to boost it. Ain't I don't have to prove shit. Rockstar fight the fool shit. My movie, this the new script. I want a life with no bullshit, nigga. I know on these news clips. That's why I dap him and move quick. Won't be around when they move switch. Won't be around when they lose clips. Won't be around for they lose lips. Might be the reason they pull shit. Yeah.
Yesterday's price is not today's price, Ravens. What you thought you were going to have to pay him, you're going to have to pay him more.
Yet another Sunday in the books. Yet another well, the week ain't over technically as far as like the football week. We still got one more game tonight. Baltimore taking on the Saints in New Orleans. Lamar Jackson has never started against a New Orleans Saints-led team, so it should be interesting. New Orleans defense look like they're going again. A lot to talk about tonight when I do my video tonight for that show, which will probably come out tomorrow. Not here to talk about Baltimore and the Saints, bro. We're here to talk about the things that transpired on NFL week Sunday. So NFL Sunday, week 9. A lot of different things happened on Sunday. Tua with another big game. Tyreek Hill with another big game. The Packers lose again. Rodgers threw 3 interceptions. Justin Fields finally start. The Justin Fields one is interesting. I'm gonna even start with that one when we get into it. But Justin Fields had a day. Tom Brady with a comeback at the end to win the game. Him and Byron Leftwich with a big old man hug. A lot of shit happened on Sunday, man. We here to talk about it. Not here to break down every game. Obviously, you know I do that in a separate video. But we are here to talk about a couple of different storylines that happened on week 9 NFL Sunday. And I do want to start off with Justin Fields. So the Dolphins, it's funny we start here. The Dolphins and the Bears played. It was basically a shootout in the sense that neither defense really played good. Not shocked that the defense for the Bears didn't play good. They literally are trading away all their best players. Eddie Jackson, the best defender they got left on the team, ain't happy. So very interesting to see where this Chicago team goes moving forward. But, you know, Justin Fields to me showed flashes last year. That's why I spoke so highly of him coming into this year. And then he started off this year kind of looking like he was regressing. And now he having moments again. I am very confused as to what to think about Justin Fields right now. I'm actually not as confused as I might think I am. It's just when he have games like this, I understand the whole sports world go crazy and whatnot. And it's like, oh, I thought Justin Fields went in. And I'm glad I'm not one of them people who didn't say I don't think Justin Fields can be a good quarterback. But I stand by the fact that I don't think he is an NFL quarterback right now. But he does do some things, like I said last year, that gives you hope that he can be great. It's just I'm not really understanding how they cannot consistently put these things together for him. I don't care about them losing, but he looked bad in a lot of these losses. I realize now over these last 2 weeks when he looked decent in these 2 losses, people cool with it. But this is my thing. Justin Fields ran for 178 yards yesterday against the Dolphins. The Dolphins defense is god-awful. Obviously, quarterbacks breaking loose for a big gain on them does not affect them. Lamar Jackson hit them with a 70-yarder over the top of the head, and we thought that was the game-sealing touchdown. It was not. So shout out to the Dolphins who seem to love coming back in these games and putting up crazy totals. But the thing with Justin Fields that I'm still kind of... So, you know, when I talked about Lamar and Justin and Jalen Hurts, it's like, whatever they do great right now, just build your offense around that. and do your job in bringing in the pieces and the coaching to help mature their games, to help them develop, because they ain't the only ones who getting paid to be great. Other people around them is paid to be great too. So you see the Eagles build around Jalen Hurts. You see Josh Allen have people they have built around him, and so many other quarterbacks. Can't use Lamar because the Ravens don't build around Lamar Jackson. They just tell you do. They do, but they actually do not. But when you don't have the talent of a Lamar Jackson to where you can overcome most of the time not having superior talent on the outsides and whatnot, you got to really exclude him. So when you don't have that type of talent, and I'm not trying to take a shot at Justin Herbert, I just don't think he is Lamar Jackson. It's great to have a whole bunch of other pieces around you. And I think Chase Claypool will be a great start. I saw some videos about my man's hands. It's very interesting because he did have a drop problem in Pittsburgh. So I'm interested to see how that work out. However, that is a great first piece to add to an offense that you hope you can get going off the ground at some point in time. As much as the running for 178, which is a record, I think that's the most a quarterback ever ran for in a game. As impressive as that is, and as impressive as Justin Fields' feet have been over the last couple weeks, the passing game still looked god-awful. And he did throw for 3 touchdowns, but it was like, easy little touchdowns because you were already close enough to just dump it off and whatnot. And he only threw for 123 yards. Now, I'm not really a how many yards you throw for type of motherfucker. Could care less about that. I told you. Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts, I saw the potential there that they could be great if they were built around. So you can take these 123s with a bunch of because like Justin Fields had 123 thrown, but he had so many yards, 178 rushing yards. So you take all that production, even though it didn't lead went to a win for Chicago. In Lamar and Hurts' case, is while they are developing, does the production that they currently give you lead to wins? And it did for Lamar and Hurts, and it still does. For the Bears right now, it's not leading to those. And one of the reasons that I think it's not leading to wins, you can say that Justin Fields might not have the requisite talent around him to an extent, even though I still kind of think his receiving room is better than the Lamar Jackson receiving room. And obviously it's nowhere near as good as the Eagles receiving room or like Buffalo's receiving room. But the thing for me with Justin Fields and this Bears offense that was holding him back, I thought it was play calling. And I'm not the biggest fan of their play calling, but I do like how they've tried to call games the last couple weeks. My thing is Justin Fields have to get more accurate. Like, I do think Justin Fields is a highly inaccurate passer of the football right now. And I don't care about the little short routes that build up people's passer rating. Like Tua Tagovailoa. Obviously, I love Tua Tom. But I'm not stupid. I understand Tua having as accurate a rating as he has is because of the offense they run. He throw a lot of short passes. And a lot of dudes who he do hit when he go deep are wide the fuck open. And I'm not hating on Tua for that. That's great offensive game planning and figuring out how to get the most out of your quarterback. I love that. But I'm not going to sit here and say Tua the most accurate quarterback in the league. But I also don't think Tua is extremely inaccurate or anything like that. He accurate enough to where when you put him in a system that helps improve his accuracy even more by giving him the quick little short routes and whatnot. Plus, Tua got 2 great players who get yards after the catch. So that's all good for Tua. So I don't necessarily care that he ain't like Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady type accurate. Justin Fields, to me, is like, people can say Lamar Jackson. I don't think Lamar Jackson was inaccurate his first year in the NFL. I also don't think Jalen Hurts was extremely inaccurate. To me, when I'm comparing like these, and I'm only using those 2 because they running quarterback dudes who is not running quarterbacks. They athletic quarterbacks who can also run better than most athletes. But you can throw Josh Allen in this too because Josh Allen fit this mold also. Josh Allen was extremely inaccurate his first year or so in the league. And all 3 of the quarterbacks were not as accurate as you wanted them to be, but I don't think they were as inaccurate as what I'm seeing from Justin Fields. That's probably my problem. I truly believe they have to figure out an offense that not just highlights how great Justin Fields' talents already are, but they got to start working in some things to help him improve his accuracy. So you need to that's why I think if they do land a big time receiver, that'll do so much for Justin Fields because he have to hit It's passes that's there that he is not comfortable with making because either he just don't see that as open or he don't trust his accuracy to put the ball where it's supposed to be. And the Bears would be a better offense if he could do that. I'm impressed with how great he can run. That's good. That's a positive. But if he can only run and cannot complete some of these passes that he has not been able to complete, then that's a problem. That's when people going to start. Now, for one, people are already calling him a running back because he can run so far and away better than he passed right now. And I just really hate that they do that to black quarterbacks. I really hate that they do that because nobody was calling Josh Allen a running back his first 2 years in the league. Nobody was calling Baker Mayfield a running back, even though that motherfucker can't run or throw. So it's very confusing to me and ignorant, and it do bother me that they continuously do this shit to black quarterbacks. Oh, Justin Fields can run great now. Running back. Like, it's very irritating. Nonetheless, if Justin Fields and the Bears want to get to the next level, because I truly think they have the talent. Like, I'm not saying that Mooney and these dudes is like superstars, but I do think he have enough talent to work with right now. Now, I will give him a pass for the Allen Robinson, because Allen Robinson ain't working out with the Rams either, so he probably just dodged a bullet on that. Allen Robinson probably just ain't got it no more. They're just going to have to face the facts. But to me, the offense, once they figure out how to incorporate not just all the beautiful things in Justin Fields' game that he does so well, but as soon as they start to figure out how to implement short little quick throws that he can get to when he trying to escape or something like that. And then he got to work on seeing the whole field. Because I do think I don't think he is very, terrible at reading the field. I don't think he the best at reading defenses, but he young, so that doesn't bother me as much. That becomes a problem for the offensive coordinator and whatnot. That's your problem. You need to draw up offenses so where he don't have to take too long reading the defense, where it's quick plays right there for him to have. And I do think he done missed Cole Kmet a lot this year. Like, Cole Kmet is getting open on some of these short routes. He's just not throwing it to him, and I don't know why. I definitely don't understand why they search for the big play so much, because Justin Fields has not been a big play type of quarterback his first couple years in the league. And another interesting thing about Fields is he didn't even run like this in college. So this is actually crazy that he run this great now. But either way, the fact that he can run the ball this good, to me, gives you a starting point as the Chicago Bears. And if you are Chicago, look at Baltimore, look at the Bills, look at the Eagles, look at how they built around their quarterbacks, who people said weren't the best throwers, couldn't be NFL caliber franchise quarterbacks. Look at how they built around. Obviously, I don't really think you can take the Lamar Jackson game plan, because unless you go get Greg Roman and then you just I don't think people realize that Lamar Jackson is just him. Lamar Jackson's talent to not have a number one receiver and some of these things that other quarterbacks have is still insane to me, that he can do what he does. However, take the Bills game plan, take the Eagles game plan, and build around Justin Fields the way they have, and incorporate. You really got to strike gold on this offensive coordinator, which is why I wish they had hired an offensive-minded head coach, because if you bring in a phenomenal offensive coordinator, he will be gone within the next 2 to 3 years. A team's gonna hire him as their new head coach because they want that offensive mind in their quarterback room or in their team, period. So if the Bears get an offensive coordinator, you got to hope that he instill a system that you can continue with even after he is gone. Because the only thing to me that's missing right now from Chicago's offensive game plan, because I think if they really were if they were above average at passing the ball, the run game would be even better than it already is. Because if you got Justin Fields and you got Khalil in the back who can both run the ball, you good. Like Malik Willis and Derrick Henry. That's a whole new problem if Malik Willis can run the way he can, if he can be decent in the pass game. That changes things. It's only when your quarterback is not where the defense don't think that the quarterback can make any type of throws to where having a running quarterback and a good running back won't matter. And so, to me, the Bears have to figure out, bro, you can throw in some little digs, some little screen routes to the receivers. Obviously, he got to be comfortable doing these things. But these are the type of plays that I see teams. The Baltimore didn't really do that, but Easy passes to help build up his confidence throughout the game. Because if he hitting all these short passes, it don't matter what people saying, oh, he only complete short. Bro, the more and more he getting comfortable in his throwing motion, hitting these passes, knowing what his receiver, then he will build on that and be able to get better and better. And then you get him a receiver, a number one, and look at what Jalen Hurts is doing right now with A.J. Brown. Mind you, A.J. Brown was clowning the Titans last night, bro. And I love it. Fuck being humble, my guy. They literally traded you and could have paid you. And it still right now makes no sense to me why they decided to trade A.J. Brown. Because if they had A.J. Brown right now, this would be a team people think is a Super Bowl contending team. Even though we know Tannehill would find a way to fuck it up ultimately. So to me, it's absolutely insane that they traded A.J. Brown. And I'm glad he making them eat that shit. I'm glad he going hard on them. Because that's absolutely insane. But back to the Bears. Justin Fields, to me, I do think he can be a franchise quarterback. I don't want to say that. I think he can be a leader of he can be an NFL quarterback. You know, I still got to see him more to know if he's going to be a franchise quarterback. But I saw somebody say yesterday they think he's going to be a superstar. Like, bro, all these L's and you think he's going to be a super, what? Like, bro, that y'all criteria is crazy. Either way, though, I do think Justin Fields has promise, but it's a lot of things that have to happen because right now, to me, the passing game just ain't good enough. Nowhere near good enough. And as much as good as he is as a runner, and I like the running backs, they have to figure out how to get consistently better at this passing game. They are not good enough passing the ball to where it's really threatening any type of defense throughout the majority of the game. Even if you got to get trickery with it, you know what I'm saying? You know, I wouldn't prefer you build your offense around trickery because then you end up like the Cardinals. Only being bailed out because you actually do have a number one receiver, but that's neither here nor there. But that's my thoughts on Chicago and Justin Fields. Let's hop to Aaron Rodgers, a team in the same division, the Packers. I told you they was going to lose against the motherfucking Lions, man. I just felt it in my bones. And I'm going to tell you what's crazy about this loss. And I knew this going into this game, but it still is wild to me after the game. The Packers only scored 9 points in this game, folks. The Lions is the worst defense in football. They are on a historical pace right now. Literally almost every team that play the Lions is racking up 30, at least getting 30 on them. That ain't even counting how many times the Lions done let teams come back on them and pop up 30 and 40 points. They just got done letting the Dolphins come back and drop 30 plus on their heads. Like, the Lions is giving up points galore. And of course, the Lions offense, that is average like close to 30 points this year. Of course, once again, in a game where people expect them to go crazy, they can't score. They struggle to score. Obviously, that was going to happen. But I said it. If the Lions could find a way to take a lead, I just don't know, based off of how many points they go up by, if the Packers have the firepower to come back. And that's crazy to say when you got Aaron Rodgers. What's even crazier to say when you got Aaron Rodgers and the motherfucker threw 3 picks, 2 of them in the end zone. You couldn't believe this nonsense coming out my mouth. But it's true. It's true. He did. He had 3 interceptions on the season. Right now, he got more interceptions this year than I think he done thrown in the last 2 years, bro. At the pace he on, he going to end up throwing more picks this year than he done thrown in his last 3 seasons, bro. Oh, man, how the mighty have fallen. And I hate to see Aaron Rodgers go out like this because I like seeing great players be great. I really think he need to go ahead and request a trade, and I know how that sounds. Like, oh, this dude is unbelievable. And who knows if it's even a team out there willing to trade for him. I'm pretty sure the Colts will, but they ain't got weapons over there either, so he going to be pissed off playing over there also. But, listen, Aaron Rodgers has blamed everybody and their moms for why the Packers is losing these games. And, well, yesterday it felt like just a culmination or just like the everything falling down at his feet. And it's just nobody else for him to blame. He done took out everybody in the room. It's literally just him. And 3 picks. And it's like, damn. This is my reality. And I feel for Aaron Rodgers, because when you somebody who is an aggressive blame deflector, you know what I'm saying? When you love to place blame at other people's feet because I am Aaron Rodgers, these type of things, they're kind of tough to deal with because the media gonna be excited about getting at you. The only dude who really probably gonna be with you right now, rocking with you real heavy, is Pat. Because your relationships with most of the other people in the media is pretty shit. At least the ones who get to get on microphones and talk every day. So a very interesting spot that Aaron Rodgers is in, but very tough game for him also. 23 of 43. The man missed and had 20 incompletions. When the last time you could say that about Aaron Rodgers? I mean, I'm gonna tell you what's crazy, because I've been saying it for the last couple weeks, or the last couple shows when I talk about the Packers. They have one problem. Literally don't have a receiver that Aaron Rodgers trusts to be his number one. Because if they did, this is a completely different team. Literally, all you have to do is add Devontae Adams to this team, and this is a completely different team. That's the crazy part of how this shit going right now. One player. So many people talk about how old receivers don't mean much because they play is based on a quarterback. Literally, all they need right now is Devontae Adams back, and this is a completely different team. That's it. I don't even know if you add a number one receiver of another ilk. Just give him Devontae back, and this is a great team again. And that's the real crazy part about it. I'm seeing people hard to go hard on a defense that's really not average, giving up a shit ton of points on a weekly basis. I mean, they held the Lions to 13-something points this game. So, I don't know what you say about to me, the Packers, as many times as I done broken down different things that they should do a run first offense. I heard they said yesterday on one of the shows that Aaron Rodgers pushed back on that. Like, if he want to go down, he want to go down swinging, meaning he want to go down throwing the ball. He don't want to run the ball, go crazy with a run heavy offense. Okay, well, you just took that control out of Matt LaFleur's hands. So now he can't even run the ball to try to get the team in it. So I'm just imagining at this point in time that the Packers are trying to lose at this point, so they can try to either get a quarterback with this first pick they end up getting in the draft. Not the first pick in the draft, but one of these top picks if they end up getting it. Or if they end up, they finally get a receiver. I don't know what the plan is at this point, but when you lose to the worst team, well, it's the worst defense, and you cannot... The Lions had one win, my guy. Not only did they have one win, they beat you, and they a divisional opponent. Not only did they beat you and you got in that division, you only got one more win than the Lions. So you're not too far off from, French kissing them with the same record. Not only that, the Lions actually have talent on the offensive side of the ball. Don't quite know, well, I do know why, but they seem to love to play terrible offense against teams that people think they can beat because they go into games against offenses that struggle, and then they struggle just as bad as the offense does. But the Lions look like a better team than the Packers right now. I mean, and the Lions defense is horrific. It is absolutely horrific. I mean, I saw it yesterday, but so many times, and Aaron Rodgers and the Packers had opportunities to capitalize and win this game. Aaron Rodgers just threw 3 picks. It's very hard to win a game when you throw 3 interceptions and the other team does not give you 3 interceptions themselves. Very hard. But not only that, it's hard to do that when the other team is scoring off of those interceptions. Detroit wasn't even capitalizing off of those interceptions. It was just a bad game all around. And I'm at the point where I'm starting to think if the Packers don't play against a good team that can score, then every game they play will probably be this bad because they can't score. And if you put them against another team that can't score, like Chicago, Detroit when they play them, Vikings, it'll probably be tough games. Now, granted, the Vikings swatted the Packers this season. They'll probably do it again. But I'm not as, the Vikings had another close win yesterday. That's just what the Vikings are. They do not inspire me to think they can go in some building and blow a team out. Unless it's the Packers, which I don't think they'll do that again either. But the Packers being this bad, and then you had all the injuries that occurred yesterday. Their best defensive player on the field tore his ACL. Aaron Jones left the game with an ankle injury, I believe. Like, just so many different. Christian Watkins, the receiver down. Sammy Watkins hurt again. Robert Tonyan, I don't even think he hurt, but I rarely see Aaron Rodgers target him on the field. Like, it's all bad for the Packers. And one of the worst things that I think I've ever seen, because I'm trying to remember the last time I seen a quarterback who lost his one great receiver and became this bad. Like, because he was so atrocious at going to other players. And I also don't know how I missed this throughout the last couple years. Because literally what's happening to Aaron Rodgers right now, what he is displaying, is what I've been calling out Stafford for the last couple years. Like, Stafford throw it to one dude, he overused one dude, and when he got to throw it to other people, he erratic, he throw it above him, behind him. Like, he don't give other dudes for the majority of the part the same type of clean opportunities he give his number one receiver. Like, everybody else is just erratic Stafford when he throwing it to them. Aaron Rodgers looks terrible throwing it to other dudes not named Davante Adams right now. And listen, I know he's trying to build up this rapport with Allen Lazard. It looked like that's who's become his number one receiver at the moment. But that's tough when Allen Lazard don't run routes better than your running back, your number one running back. Because Aaron Jones is a better catcher and route runner than Allen Lazard, who plays receiver. That makes no sense. Like that, anytime the running back is the best receiver, route runner, catcher on the team, you have a problem. The Panthers at least had DJ Moore, who they could say, well, Christian McCaffrey, great, but we don't know if he's a better receiver than GD. The Packers don't have that. Aaron Jones is undisputably the best receiving option they have on that team right now. And like I said, you could put that blame on the Packers for not drafting a receiver over these last couple years or going out and getting one. And I saw the reports that they offered up a number one pick to get DJ Moore. Listen, you should have been trying to get DJ Moore earlier in the year, for one. But two, if you were willing to give up a number one pick for DJ Moore, why were you not willing to give up a number one pick for another receivers, any other receivers that was out there? Amari Cooper literally got traded for like a 5th or 6th round pick. You don't think Amari Cooper would have been great with the Green Bay Packers right now? Like, to me, the Packers organization just makes no fucking sense. People going to give them a whole bunch of credit because, they such a good team. They got like 2 Super Bowls between 2 great quarterbacks all time. Explain it. And I know people saying, Tom Brady got us thinking that No, great quarterbacks got us thinking that they will have a chance to win multiple Super Bowls. At least make a trip. Aaron Rodgers literally has been to 1 Super Bowl. That is it. That is it. And a lot of ugly failures after. But we give them so much credit that I really think it might be the media's fault. And the media kind of hate Aaron Rodgers, so it's wild that I'm actually saying that because I feel like most of the media don't even like Aaron Rodgers. But nobody was really perennially blaming Aaron Rodgers. I know Colin Cowherd was constantly going at Aaron Rodgers. But a lot of people was infatuated with how he throw the ball, these type of different throws he can make, and we never was really paying attention to the fact that most of the time it was Davante Adams on the other end of those catches. And so we never looked at him like we looked at Matthew Stafford, and I don't think Aaron Rodgers is anywhere near a Stafford. He is clearly one of the better quarterbacks of ever. But hey, late in his career, it's not paying to only have had that type of rapport with one receiver. Not to mention, I still Davante already done said that it played a role in it, but the feud between Rodgers and the Packers, to me, will always have played a role in not having Davante Adams. Point blank, period. Like, the whole might retire, might not retire, going on the Pat McAfee show, doing the shit, saying some of the things that he was saying and airing them out and all the different. Like, listen, Davante just didn't want to be a part of that shit no more. Do I think he made a great decision going to the Raiders? Not necessarily, because I said in the beginning of the season I didn't think Davante Adams was really going to change life for the Raiders because of who the quarterback was and the head coach. And I love Derek Carr, but I know he's not a upper echelon quarterback, which is why it was just insane to me that he was ranked in the top 10 quarterbacks by some outlets going into the season over Lamar Jackson. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is the same Derek Carr that done missed the playoffs like the last couple years and has been nowhere near the playoffs, has been bad the last couple years. He got one great year where not even great, he just got a good year where he found a way to get this team in the playoffs after all the adversity they go through. And now he a top 10 quarterback. Some crazy ass criteria considering Lamar Jackson won a unanimous MVP and they still was calling him a running back. So you explain that to me. But either way, right now the fucking Packers are going through it because I really don't know what you do because you can't get Devontae back. Clearly the trade deadline done passed. You're looking at free agency. No receiver is signing over there in free agency. Why does no great receiver want to play with Aaron Rodgers? Because I remember him saying as clear as day on the Pat McAfee show, team players come here to play with me. Cannot name one great receiver that done went over there to play with him. Can't. Defenders go over there. I guess you could say defenders go over there to play with you, even though they don't necessarily play. They do play with you in the sense y'all on the same team, but they on the defensive side of the ball. I guess playing with you, they thought, we're going to always be leading, so, more sack opportunities and more chance to win. Because there's no way they thought that, go play with Aaron Rodgers, that's definitely a guaranteed trip to the Super Bowl because he ain't made a trip in the Super Bowl in about a decade. So if they went over there thinking that was insane. But, at this point for the Packers, I don't think they need to. Now, some people going to say, rebuild. That's crazy. They have a great defense. You give this team an offense, the defense is going to be considered one of the better defenses in the NFL. The Packers' defense ain't a problem. That's why I don't think, because the next team I'm going to talk about, I don't think their defense is the problem either. The Packers don't have a defensive problem. They have an offensive problem. It is clear as day. Just look at the games. They cannot score. They cannot move the ball. When you do not do those things consistently, pick up first downs, you don't give your defense chances to actually get rest on the sideline. And all the pressure is always on the defense. Like, just hold them until we find a way to score. Yeah, that type of extra pressure being put on the defense, that's ridiculous. And then I hear people like, oh, well, they get paid to do that. The offense get paid to score too, bozo. So let's not play that game. But yeah, the Packers, I think the Packers going to end up as one of the worst teams in the league this year. I told you, I thought they was going to already finish in second in the division. Lord only knew they was going to finish this bad. But I did not anticipate Aaron Rodgers would be this bad. Like, I knew the offense wasn't going to look like it looked in the past because Devontae Adams wasn't there no more. I had no clue Aaron Rodgers would look this bad. Like, 3 interceptions. One of the interceptions he threw was off of a lineman's helmet. That's like another. He done that like 2 or 3 weeks in a row. The other one, Aiden Hutchinson just make a great play. No. It wasn't Aiden. Aiden Hutchinson got the one that bounced off the lineman. The other one was I can't even remember dude's name, and I apologize for that. But just 2 bad throws by Aaron Rodgers. Bakhtiari was wide open on one of the plays that he threw an interception on. And that's another thing. Bakhtiari. He don't play most of the time. He came back in at the end of this game after being on a bike for a long time. What the fuck is going on with him? A lot of money invested in a guy who really haven't been available for you for the last 2 years. Probably even longer than that. So it's rough right now if you're a Packer fan, bro. And I'm telling you, I keep trying to give y'all different type of ways that you can turn this thing around. I don't think you can turn it around now. I think you're too deep into the season. And the Vikings keep winning. So I actually think that unless the Vikings just have a crazy ass collapse and the Packers just find a way to start winning, like put together like 6 dubs in a row, because that'll get them at 9. Even then, that could be tough, because the Vikings would literally have to just keep losing right now, because they 2 wins away from 9 wins right now. So imagine how many weeks it would take for the Packers. It would take the Packers 6 weeks of straight wins to get to 9 wins. And it would take the Vikings 2. And they don't have to play perfect football. They've been winning these games as a team, basically. They haven't played perfect football on either side of the ball, to be honest with you. But they play great team ball. So they pick up 2 more wins and don't go on a losing streak. Yeah, it's looking pretty ugly for you, for the Packers. Then you having to rely on the wild card positioning. With the 49ers, who are a better team. Possibly the Seahawks, even though they lead in a division. Better team. 2 teams that can put up points. Like, the Packers ain't making the playoffs, yo. I'm coming to that. Well, I already kind of felt they weren't going to make the playoffs this year. Actually, I thought they would have made the wild card because I didn't project that the Seahawks would be this great. But, even with the step backs of the Bucks don't matter because the Bucks can still win their division. The step back of the Rams don't matter because the Seahawks took a step forward. The fallback of some of these other teams that also don't matter because the Vikings are a good team and the Eagles are a great team and the Cowboys are a great team. So, boy, it is a rough year to be a Packer fan. Them motherfuckers ain't making the playoffs. But speaking of defenses, Jalen Ramsey. So, Tom Brady, to win the game-winning drive, he had to beat somebody, and it was the Rams. But I am unequivocally on the side of Jalen Ramsey and what he said after the game, basically, when it's like, we thought we had the game won. Like, I don't even care about his quote. You go check his quote out yourself. This is the thing. I'm hearing a lot of people go at Jalen Ramsey and the Rams defense. Oh, they cost him the game. You can't give up 65 yards and 38 plays. We see this type of shit happen all the time. We literally see teams on the last drive score all the time. That's why so many of these nobody quarterbacks got so many game-winning drives. Because in the regular season, we see this shit happen more than not. So the reason y'all acting like the Rams is the first team in modern history to give up the game with no timeouts for the other opposing team with under a minute left. Yeah, that's happened multiple times before, and it'll happen again this season. So that's just absolutely ridiculous that people going that hard on the Rams. Not to mention, this was not a 40-something plus point game. These teams barely touched 20s, if they even touched 20s. So, and the Rams gave the offense multiple opportunities to close the game out. And the Rams offense went 3 and out every time. Not even long 3 and outs. Quick 3 and outs to hurry up and get the Bucs the ball back, as if they were trying to lose the game somehow. They did everything they possibly could to give Tom Brady as many opportunities as they could possibly humanly give him to win that game. And somehow we gonna blame the defense. Now that shit just don't make no sense to me. Because if I take a defense and I say, I'm giving you 10 plays to stop a dude, and they stop him 8 out of those 10 plays, regardless of the order in which they stop these plays, unless it's, like I said, a game in which they don't have no stops whatsoever, and neither does the other team because it's a shootout. This was not that incident. When you have a defense that got me 8 out of 10 stops, and the offense, in return, I say, okay, if the defense get me 8 out of 10 stops, I'm going to need at least 6 to 7 scores. Well, the offense gave you 2. So, the defense got you 8 stops, basically, on this scale that we're doing, and the offense converted and scored 2 times. In what fucking reality do we put this game on the defense? That just makes no sense. Like that. And like I said, I understand timing at times. I do get that. But if you look at this game, the Rams had multiple stops in the fourth quarter. The defense. And the Rams offense had no sense of urgency. No desire to go ahead and close out this game. Because it's very funny to me that people keep saying, oh, well, they could have got a stop. Well, the offense could have scored. The offense could have scored. And they never did. Because they never even was moving the ball. Because the Rams offense is horrific right now. And the fact that you can I don't understand this. The media can continuously try to throw the shade on the Rams defense. The Rams defense has been fine this year. The problem has been the offense. Much like the Colts. The Colts. Much like the Colts. Much like the Tampa Bay. Much like the Packers. Like this thing of the defense being the problem when they literally holding teams to less than 20 points, and we blaming them when they got you the ball back 3 separate times in the fourth quarter, and all you have to go do is score to seal this game. And they don't. So it's okay for us to be mad and say the defense got to do their jobs, but we can't do that for the offense too. I don't know about that one, buddy. I don't know about that one, buddy. That seems very, that seems very crooked to me. I'm not going to lie to you. That seems very crooked. If I'm Jalen Ramsey, I'm having the same thing. And now I will say this. My only problem with Jalen Ramsey is my problem that I said I had with Marcus Peters a couple weeks ago when he blew up at John Harbaugh. When we win and when we lose, we cannot have you going high, low, hot, cold. The best leaders are consistent. I understand it's emotions in the game and whatnot, but certain leaders know what lines not to cross, okay? And blowing up, calling out teammates, blowing up at a coach and shit like that on the sidelines or for people to see, that's not what leaders do, all right? And so I do think Jalen Ramsey had a moment of, just pure frustration, but we done seen too many times different players, great players, having these moments of frustrations and then end up getting traded a year later. So what I would say is, even though I understand, I'm a big advocate of athletes getting the most they can out of their careers, especially ones who legitimately want to win. Like, I'm all for getting the most out of your careers. But I do think that in certain times, like, we just got a Super Bowl last year, big dog. Like, I understand we losing, but let's not throw each other under the bus. The media obviously going to throw the defense under. Now, I do kind of excuse this one for the simple, well, I'm not going to excuse it because I wouldn't do it myself, but I can't judge him based off of what I would do. However, I don't agree with what he did necessarily. However, this is my one thing. The media immediately took to Twitter to blame the defense. And that can be very frustrating as a defense when, like I said, I give you 10 opportunities. I need you to get at least 5 stops. They give me 8. And a defense, and I tell my offense, I need you to get me at least 6 to 7 scores. They give you 2. That is a problem. And the defense the one that take that on the chin, not the offense. That's a problem. And I think Sean McVay gonna be cool when you got a talented cornerback like Jalen Ramsey, who I don't even think is the best cornerback in the league no more. I definitely think he's still a top cornerback in the league, but I don't think it's a definitive best cornerback in the league right now. Well, actually, to me, I would probably take Trayvon Diggs over everybody else. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit biased though. I'm not a Cowboy fan, but I am a little biased because I have watched a lot of Trayvon Diggs because I just could not understand why people was hating on him the way they was. And I couldn't really defend him like I wanted to last year because I wasn't watching a shit ton of Trayvon Diggs. Now that I done damn near watched every single snap Trayvon done took this year and went back and watched a lot of his shit last year, now I can defend him and say that y'all motherfuckers is just a bunch of haters because Trayvon Diggs ain't never been as bad as y'all tried to make him out to be. And now he legitimately is probably the best cornerback in the league with Darius Slay and a couple other dudes, at least in competition for it. And I don't hear people giving him that type of credit. That y'all, the love and the praise is nowhere near as loud as the hate. And that's weird to me. But with that being said, I don't agree with Jalen Ramsey calling out his offense and whatnot. But I do agree. You cannot go at the defense and be like, oh, they should have got that stop. Motherfucker, this offense should have scored on one of these multiple times we took Tom Brady off of the field throughout the duration of this game. Like, don't feed me all these other type of excuses to try to save face for the offense when the offense is not doing anything. I think like averaging 14 points is like a season low for a team. You remember that stat that I read you when I said that the Panthers was like 1-27 when a team scored 15 fucking points? Meaning if a team find a way to score 2 touchdowns against the Panthers under Matt Rule, they would win that fucking game. That's insane to think that you only have to score 2 touchdowns to win a game. Now put in perspective the fact that these 2 motherfucking teams the Rams defense didn't even give up 2 touchdowns basically. Just put that in perspective. That's basically what they gave up was 2 touchdowns. And the offense they just couldn't figure that out. On both sides, but I just don't know how the defense can walk away from these games with the blame. If Brady and them boys had a loss, I don't know how I could have blamed the defense for that. Seeing as how they done held these 2 offenses who have struggled on the year, and they made sure they kept struggling. Vita Vea with a big game. Aaron Donald with a big game. Both offenses were terrible. Shout out to my guy Tom Goat Brady though. Listen, when Brady, Lamar, Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, when they have bad games, it's a great chance I'm ignoring them bitches. Or I'm going to find ways to excuse them. Just like y'all do for all these other quarterbacks, all these other type, like Joe Burrow. He have a bad game. I don't see nobody talk about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, people go at Pat Mahomes harder than they go at Joe Burrow. That's insane to me. I actually saw people, I am not kidding. I done heard multiple people say that Joe Burrow is a better quarterback than Pat Mahomes. the damnest things you hear on Twitter every day, man. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kickin' with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber, you out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.